Hey guys, DC here. I wanted to do a series of videos on each of the individual legs of the race. So I want to cover, today I want to cover the swim, but real quickly, just today is July 4th. Happy Independence Day to everybody. And we are less than a month out. I was riding on the bike course this morning. I did a loop, and I saw pretty much all of you, I'm sure, out there. There were hundreds and hundreds of bikes out riding the loop. So it was exciting to see you guys out there and say hey to a bunch of you as we were riding along. So like I said, we're about a month out, so we're coming close. So hopefully your training, if you're not around here, is going well and safe, and that you're healthy and ready to go for August 2nd. Our team here is getting super excited. We've got a lot of individuals that are a part of this process and a part of this team, and everybody's just been plugging away all throughout the summer and even into the winter. Getting things ready for you guys. So we're excited, and here we go. So this video specifically is going to cover the swim, but we're also going to just touch base on how to get you to the swim and things like that in the mornings. I think that's important. So race morning procedure, and then the swim, and then we're going to cut that video, and then we'll do something else for the bike and something else for the run, and then things like that. So any questions after this video, post it on the comments thread, and I'll do my best to get back to you and answer things via that way. So let's start right off in the morning as to how we get you guys to the Boulder Reservoir for your swim course. Before I start using the maps, I want to make sure it's very, very clear to everybody. There's no other way to get to the Boulder Reservoir except on a shuttle bus or by a taxi. Those are the only two ways that you can get there. So you have to be in something yellow. It's got to be a yellow marked taxi or a school bus that we've rented, and you are in that school bus riding up to the Boulder Reservoir. If you try to go to Tom Watson Park, if you try to go to Gun Barrel, if you try to go to any of those areas, you're going to be stopped by law enforcement as you're approaching the Boulder Reservoir and be turned around. So don't be disappointed and try that. The only way you can get into the Boulder Reservoir is on our school buses. There's reasons for that. There's a lot of logistics that goes into these things, and there's a lot of give and take that we have with the communities, and right now we cannot park as many cars as needed up at the Boulder Reservoir to have you guys all come up there and park. It's short. That's the short version of that, but there's no other way to get to the Boulder Reservoir other than through the shuttle buses. Okay, so let's talk right through that really quickly. I think I beat that horse to death. So the Boulder High School is located right in the middle of town, right in downtown Boulder. And first off the bat, what I did is I Googled parking. Right here, these 5 or 6 different parking garages right here within about a block or two of the Boulder High School. Before race morning, make sure you pick which one you're going to go to. Familiarize yourself with the parking. Last year, we had 0 issues with parking. The only issues that people expressed were because people that weren't planning ahead race week and learned where the garages were and learned where street parking was. On the weekend, most of the parking in the city of Boulder is free. So just make sure that you're paying close attention to what garages you're going into and what street parking you're parking on. Look at the posted signs and make sure you're abiding by those. If you go into a private parking garage, which there are a couple, just be aware that you'll have to pay to use that parking garage, just like you would any other day. Okay. So those are the parking areas. You see a bunch of them right here. There's even a bunch off to the west of the Boulder High School, and lots of street level parking all over the place. So just plan ahead. All right. Once you've gotten out of your vehicle, your first stop that you're going to make is right here on 13th Street. So this is 14th, this is 13th, and this is Broadway. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. On 13th Street, you're going to be dropping off your bike special needs and your run special needs before you go on to the school bus and up to the Boulder Reservoir. So your run special needs, you're going to drop off exactly where run special needs is for the run course. It's right here in this green space. You leave it there all day. We have security guard it until the run course opens, and then volunteers are guarding it once the run course opens. On this street, we're going to have a budget truck and a light tower. You can't miss it. You're going to drop off your bike special needs. All right. I can't stress this enough. A couple of you guys took your special needs bags to the Boulder Reservoir. Do not do that. Tell your friends, tell your family. Do not do that. Anybody else you know racing. If you take those items up to the Boulder Reservoir, you will not see them on the bike course or on the run course because we are not transporting those things, all right? That's why we have you drop these things off first thing in the morning before you get on the school buses, all right? Once you do drop those items off, you'll head over here right in front of this parking lot for the Boulder High School, and this is where the shuttle buses will pick up, right here in the front of the high school. We have a ton of school buses. Last year we had 0 standing and waiting in lines. The line was constantly moving as we were loading up school bus after school bus after school bus. We had about 60 school buses out there, so we had 0 issues in terms of getting people up there. There was no line for the trip to the Boulder Reservoir at about 5:30. The line was gone, and that's almost an hour before the swim start. So you were all up there and all on time, and it worked great. Couple of notes: we will have ADA buses as well for anybody that needs a little extra special assistance getting up to the Boulder Reservoir. So if you have family and friends that are in a chair or need extra help getting to onto a bus, we will have ADA buses that'll pick up right here on 17th Street. We keep them separate. That way the general public and the athletes don't get on those. Those are reserved for those that need special assistance. If your family member is traveling on that bus, feel free to get on the school bus with them. We're not going to separate you guys. We want you to travel together. So get on the school bus with them. And that includes strollers as well. If you're a family with a stroller and you want to take that up to the reservoir as well, instead of collapsing that to get on the school bus, go ahead and jump on the ADA buses. That's right here on 17th Street. All right. So from there, we'll take you up to the Boulder High School. It's about a 10-minute trip on the school buses, and it's super simple. All right. And once again, that's the only way you can get up to the Boulder Reservoir. So let's switch here. And head up to the Boulder Reservoir. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit. And what we'll do is we'll kind of talk through what happens up at the Boulder Reservoir. So I'm going to zoom in. Like I said before, don't attempt to go to the reservoir any other way than by a school bus. The school buses will drop you off right here at this parking lot. All right, that's where our transition is for the 70.3, if anybody's familiar. Once you're dropped off, you'll take a little walk up this reservoir road. And to the transition areas that are located on the east side of the Boulder Reservoir, right here in these 2 major parking lots. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to switch to a kind of a build-out view that we have for the Boulder Reservoir. Shows you where our fence is and things like that. If you haven't done this race before, you bring all of your stuff up to the Boulder Reservoir, like your clothes that you're wearing, if you're wearing like a hoodie or a jacket and some pants or shorts or whatever. Before you get into the water, you'll jam those items into what we call a morning clothes bag. That's before you put your wetsuit on, before you go and jump in the water and start your day. You can either give that morning clothes bag to your friends and family that are there with you, or you can leave it with us, and we have those dropped off right here in the corner of transition, and we'll bring those back to the Boulder High School for you, ready for you when you finish. So those are your 2 options. But if you don't give it to one of those 2 groups, either your family and friends or the group that's organizing them, you will not see that morning clothes bag again. So don't leave it next to your bike. Don't leave it along the fence in transition. Make sure you give those to a volunteer or give them to your family and friends. All right. So you'll be able to access transition. You'll be able to access your bike. You'll be able to access your bike to be able to put on nutrition, pump up your tires, whatever it may be. We'll also have bike tech in transition as well to help anybody else that has any last-minute tweaks and adjustments that they want to make. All right, so let's take a look at the swim course and how it lays out. As you can see on this map, we have 2 left-hand turns on this course, and that is it. It's a single 2.4-mile loop. You'll swim out along the dam, along the buoys. All the buoys are spaced out about 100 meters. You'll take a left hand at the red buoy. All of our turn buoys are red. You'll take a left hand up to the next buoy. You'll take another left hand, and then you'll come down to the swim finish. All right, and it's one single loop. The kayaks and everybody will keep you on course. We'll have hundreds of people out on the water, keeping you guys safe. And like most races, you have to make sure you stay to the right of the buoys. There's no swimming on the inside, and that way we make sure that everybody's making the same course and making that turn at the end. All right, so that's the swim course layout. In terms of the quality of the swim, in terms of water temperatures, in the morning here in Boulder, we usually have very, very calm mornings. The water's usually glass, very, very smooth. We don't have, obviously, it's a reservoir, so we don't have like tides or waves. So it should be very, very smooth in the morning and make for very clean swimming. The water temperature in that time of year is usually around 75. It's usually right in the middle of the 70s. I've seen it as low as 72, and I've seen it as high as 76 in that time frame. and we'll measure that and we'll let you know in the morning if it's going to be a wetsuit legal swim or not. If you're not familiar with what that means, just look at the rules. It's not a big deal. If you still want to wear your wetsuit, you still can. You'll just won't be eligible for awards or qualifying for Hawaii for our World Championships. Okay, so just familiarize yourselves with those things. If you want to qualify for those two items, we'll let you know if the water temperature is as such, and whether or not it's going to be a wetsuit legal swim. So come prepared for both, whether you're going to wear a wetsuit or whether you're not. We're not going to make any guarantees or promises. Right now it's in the low 70s. It's about 73 degrees in the water now, and it's going to hover there. It usually stays right in that area. All right. Once you're out of the water, let's switch back to this view. You'll start your morning over here on the right hand side. You can see this chute. So we'll stack everybody up, and it's what's called a rolling swim start. And what that means is just like a mass marathon where you are going to line yourself up based on your swim ability. And the idea is that everybody swims with people that are similar speed. That way we're not swimming over top of each other. You have fast swimming over slow, or slow getting out in front of the faster swimmers. So we want people that think they can swim under an hour in the front. We want people that can swim for an hour, hour and 10 they think, next up, and so on and so forth. We'll have big signs held by volunteers. You can't miss them, to kind of spread you guys out. So look at those signs and make sure you space yourself out accordingly, and swim with people that you think are in the similar speeds. All right. It does not help you to be in the front. Everybody has 2 hours and 20 minutes to swim. Everybody has 2 hours and 20 minutes. If you go over 2 hours and 20 minutes, then you'll receive a DNF. All right. But everybody has 2 hours and 20 minutes. So you'll swim in, like the map said. You'll take 2 left-hand turns, and you'll exit right here, this chute, this boat launch. Once you come up that boat launch, at the top of the boat launch, we'll have our wetsuit peelers right here in the grass. And they'll help you get your wetsuit off if you wore one. If not, cruise on by. And that's a lot of fun to watch if you have any family and friends. It's just it's wild and crazy and lots of fun to see people getting their wetsuits yanked off. Once you've gone through that area, the next thing is your gear bags. That's your bike gear bag. And everything that you need for your bike is going to be in that bag. You'll see on Saturday when you put it down. You'll put it right here in this green space. Once you grab your bag from a volunteer, they'll be organized by number. You'll hook a U-turn. And inside these tents are the change tents. We'll have men's on one side and women's on the other. There'll be volunteers in there to assist you, taking all your swim stuff, putting it in that bag, taking all your bike stuff as you head out to the bike. Right here you'll have sunscreen just after that tent, so you can toss on some sunscreen. We'll have Bullfrog sunscreen in that area. They'll cover your shoulders and your face if you want to. We'll also have restrooms there available. And then you'll head down the chute. It chokes down a little bit, and you'll head into the parking lot where you've got your bike. Once you grab your bike, you'll head east a little bit to the end of the transition. You'll come up the hill. It's just a little hill, and everybody will mount their bikes on the top of the hill on the road when it's straight. You will not be mounting your bike on the climb up. All right, so that's the basic layout of the swim. I don't want to go into too much detail after that, but I think it should be pretty straightforward. If you have any questions, like I said, comment here on the comments thread, and we'll get answers to you as quickly as possible. But this is the most exciting part, getting you guys ready for race day. This is what I love doing the most. So just feel free to keep those questions coming. And like I said, we're going to do a bike one. Hopefully here shortly, and then another run one as well, where I kind of give you my perspective on the 3 different courses. Yeah, like I said, we're a month out, guys. So hopefully you're trying hard and getting those miles in, and getting ready to taper. We're knocking on the door of probably your last big training block. And once we start tapering, we know it's time to race. All right, so looking forward to seeing you guys out here, and I'll see you soon.